My name is Riccardo Matlakas, and I'm an interdisciplinary artist working with several media, and I live in London. I had a need, as you have, to do something important, so I began working upon certain issues.
I suppose for me, one of the starkest works of yours was when I remember that you went to Palestine.
Yes.
And you worked very closely with a lot of people there. And I remember you worked with a lot of, I think, sort of religious people as well, I seem to remember.
Yes, yes.
Yeah?
Actually, we worked with the Archbishop as well, Father Atallah something. And he's very popular and he's an activist, great priest. Like, he's the first priest I can hear saying, yeah, what religion you belong to doesn't matter. We all about the same. We all human beings, and that's what he's fighting for. So I was really very, very happy working for him, with him, and for the same issue, the Palestine issue. But we're talking about Palestine, but we're talking about many other issues.
Yeah, and why do you do this? I mean, you say it's important to you. I noticed your recent works are sort of also about the refugee crisis, and I'm kind of interested in what is it that draws you to that? Yeah, you're from Italy.
Yes. Yeah, you know that South Italy, what's going on with the refugee problem, and also a lot of racism. My point is, really, we are human beings, right? If I exist, what shall I do in this life? Why am I here? For sure, I don't want to be a hero or anything. I just want to make my life worth of being alive. Otherwise, what do? I work to earn my little money to buy my little things. It's such a irrelevant thing. I don't want to live for that. So I really want to try to do my best. And, art can do something, maybe.
And what sort of impact would you really like to have with your art?
A change of consciousness.
A change of consciousness.
Which also happened in me. But, the basic things to become human, there's people much behind that. So at least I want all of us to have that change of consciousness close to the being human. Because we are not being human. We are not using most of our potential.
And what does it mean to you to be human?
Just be basic, like knowing what life is about, you know what I mean? Like just not do all this trouble, like wars and boundaries, nationality, this is mine, and it's fine to belong things, but not at that level, you see? Like, you have to let go. We are human. When we don't realize what we are doing, everything functions so badly. It is true also, like this thing of, like I notice in myself and as the community around me, like we all have these voices inside, like positive and negative. Depends which one you listen to.
Yeah.
So, but because sometimes you are in the vibe, everything is negative, then you become negative. We part of biology system, like we are human beings, and we do have behaviors which are stronger than our rational thinking and heart realm. So that are like instincts, I'd say, and also the way we've been growing up, perhaps with violence, like in my case with violence, I saw a lot of crap, and then of course it still feeds me, but I'm stronger now because I go like, no, this is not right. So when you start thinking and believing that, then you go like, no, we have to act upon the good.
So tell us a little bit about these works of yours. So you've got 3 works.
Yes.
And each of them is sort of got some focus really on the refugee crisis.
Right, yes.
So one is called Sweet Thorn.
Yeah,
that's a performance piece.
Yeah, I began with that. If you remember.
I love this piece.
Yes, I went to Palestine and I had some political research.
Yeah.
So I conceived Sweet Thorn there and then performed it in Cape Town, in South Korea, in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to sort of describe, this was really a performance piece with you really encircled or covered with this barbed wire.
Yes.
And roses in it.
Yeah, like 80 roses and barbed wire. And then I just walk in the street and I I blow white balloons. On each balloon, there is a word written there that represents something that I want to change, I want to shift, like, for example, apartheid. So I blow the balloon, of course, inside the barbed wire, pump, explodes, and that's for me the symbol of shifting. Then I use this broken balloon as a petal for my stem, because I will cut the wire, and then the wire will be a stem. So I will make a flower with the white balloon and the wire. Then I get a rose, and together I give it to people. I give it to people as a symbol of transformation and a hope of beautiful transformation, but also in the meantime I'm getting free from the structure, because of course cutting the barbed wire, I slowly free myself. So by the act of giving, I free myself.
Yeah.
So that's the point.
So by the act of giving, you free yourself.
Yes.
Can you say that again?
By the act of giving, I free myself. Yeah, that's the point. I free myself by the act of giving. If I wouldn't give, I would be trapped in this.
Do you think we're trapped as a human race at the moment?
We are trapped in our mind and our little spiral of thoughts and greed. I'm also greedy. I'm greedy. Of course, look how many brushes. I can use one. But no, it's not all about that. It's not all about that. I need that. Maybe not all. I could give them away. But it's not about that. But we do have that side, and that can be nourished if we don't get that shift of consciousness.
Yeah, I think that also reminds me of the tree, Ai Weiwei's tree here that we're seeing.
Yes.
And this contrast between the tree, I don't know if you saw it in Tate, that was very much like this. It was made from all these different pieces of many different trees in China.
Yeah.
And he brought them all together and made it into this kind of almost living structure, but it was still obviously very grey, or looks almost like driftwood. And now he's created it into this sort of amazing, colourful rainbow of hope and light, really, for me.
It's great. I think that's how a tree looks like if we look beyond.
So there was Sweet Thorn, and then there was another piece, and you might have to say the name of it in Italian.
Yeah, it's called La speranza nel mare, hope in the sea.
Hope in the sea.
Yeah, many people have this hope by crossing the sea, which is stopped before they even arrive. Like they are, when they travel in the sea, they know they might not get it, but they have their hope, and the hope is what saved them.
It looks sort of very charred and burned,
yeah,
the piece.
It's also because of that feeling of, it can't grow anymore.
Okay.
But also because coal, it was the old form of petrol. Like in the old days, coal was the beginning of quick industrialization. That was like what people was aiming for and needed. Now it's oil mostly.
Yes. And what do you think of the refugee crisis in relation to climate change and the fact that, thousands upon thousands of people are having to move because of climate change? Does this ever feature in your work? I mean, I suppose that's part of it. You've just...
Of course. Already by the fact that we are privileged compare other countries, and we might have a lot of water running on our tap, and probably other countries that don't. There is this diversity when we can share. We're still giving. There's more powerful nations that don't want to share. A lot. Why is that? And I buy things for £1, and sometimes I'm surprised. I'm like, how can this be £1? Of course. Well,
someone somewhere is not getting the right deal.
Yeah, it's not right. This is not right.
Let's go on to your third work. So tell us a little bit about this one. What's it called?
Well, this is you see, these refugees on this boat. Like, you can see this sea of dead people, and but they're kind of colorful, because they have hope inside. They still have hope,
right.
And on the other side, you see people who trying to help, but they also have something, they have rules to follow. Yeah. So it's not entirely their fault sometimes if they can't welcome, because that's when the rulers say, okay, guys, you can't let in more than 15 people, so they have to let in 15 people. So this is not even the fault of the people who works there. It's actually it's the politics, it's the system. It's the system which is wrong. I really relate to them in many
you really relate
levels.
to them?
In many levels.
In what
Pocket level, in I suffer racism in my own city because I come from a very bad area. So like the most like posh areas, they were like, oh, you come from there. Already from there, I could feel it. And sometimes my skin color, I hate my skin color. I don't want to say I hate it, but I'm like, oh, really? Like, you know, I represent this race which has been ruling and colonizing. You know what I mean? There's no difference, man. There is no difference even where we come from. Each culture has their own beauty and their own heritage. We are destroying heritage. I told you about sweet thorn, but there is another thing about it, because that structure that is around me is not only seen as a barbed wire, you know, the obstacle, the boundary. I also see it as a protection to my individual, my own being. They can't come to me, and I'm using the same tools they use to protect their houses. They can take everything of me, but not my individuality. The problem is with all this refugee crisis, unfortunately, the individuality of people is taken. You know, their integrity is taken. So that's also a symbol of that. Like, it's beautiful protection because there are roses. And so it has several meanings, this sweet thorn. So sweet thorn, I don't see it only as a political mean, but also very spiritual. Like, no one can step beyond that line.